You're in for a treat down here, that's for sure. That's for sure. This is Samson. So Samson is not really supposed to be handled that often. This is an anaconda, and it has bit me, and it is not.
Are we getting him out?
Yeah. It is not mean by any means, but it is also not socialized. Yeah. So let's try to get that. So Samson is friendly. He's an anaconda. They're not supposed to be pets. So I was at the pet store one day because I have a lot of cool stuff, and this crazy guy came in. He was like a bootleg Jake the Snake Roberts, and he had the snake around his neck, and he was like, "Does anybody want an anaconda?" And I go, "Why don't you want it?" And he goes, "I don't trust it." And I go, "How much do you want for it?" He goes, $500. I go, "I'll give you 400 right now."
By the way, these go online for like $3,000 for one.
Yeah.
Seems cheap for an anaconda.
Yes, it was a good deal. So I took the snake. So I brought it here. I told everybody the story about what had happened, and so when I when I took it in here, I'm telling everyone the story.
Tail first.
And I take it out. See, there you go. I take it out, and the first thing it did was bit me in front of everyone. So now everyone's scared of it. Careful. Yeah. This is my office, obviously. This is my favorite picture that I show everybody. I moved down here to start this company. So, true story. At first, especially my grandpa, who worked for NASA, thought I was just completely wasting my life as a bodybuilder, right? And he was very disappointed in me. He wanted me to be an engineer like him. I said, I just know that I'm going to make something happen in this sport. I promise, if when I'm 30 years old, if I'm not top 5 best in the world, I'll retire and I'll put all that into my business. And so I made it till 31. It lasted one more year. I was going to give me one more try. And coincidentally, that was actually the worst I ever did. And I did USA's. July 24th, and I moved from California after I did the show. I knew I was going to start this company. Moved down here, started Blackstone Labs September 1st. So I started it a week later. That year, we did 200,000 in sales. We believed, all right, this is something that we can make happen. The year after that, we did 1.2 million. The year after that, we did 9.8 million, which got us to be the 27th fastest growing company in the United States. And this is a magazine that I always read, so for me to see my company in this magazine, have my name in the magazine, was a really big deal for me. I've always read Entrepreneur and Inc. 500 magazine. So in health, we actually finished number 2. The only company that beat us does heart transplants. We're not going to beat that. So this is my call center. So this is something that we're the first to do this. No one does shit like this. And one of my old partners, he actually built call centers. That was his job. He invested into companies and he put in call centers. So these guys are taking incoming calls and making outgoing calls all day. So this is a sales room turned customer service. They're all experts on the products. They all know as much as me, or almost as much as me, as there is to know about nutrition and supplementations. They can tell people why they should be taking products, how they should be taking them, even how to work it in with their diets. This started with 3 people, and now we have, I think, 12. We have multiple shifts. We have weekend shifts, and we cover literally the world with this room now. This is my podcast room. We do podcasts every week. Ask PJ Braun. I answer literally anything. Most of it is steroid questions, but it is what it is. We got some funny like sex questions and stuff like that. I've had guests, pretty funny guests on. So this is my warehouse. So everything that's in here is going, for the most part, direct to consumer in the United States. We will ship everywhere, but we also have distributors in other countries, of course. The only thing we'll often ship out of here is Australia, because we do so much specific business with Australia. But one thing that separates us from other brands is we will make specific formulas for each region. So if, let's just say Australia has a formula of a product that we like that's not legal in Southeast Asia or is legal in the UK, we make each region their own formula. Most people won't do that. They make one watered down, but we don't want that. We want our products to be the best no matter where they are. So if you go into an area where an ingredient is okay that might be banned somewhere else that we believe in, we put that ingredient back in so that area can have the strongest products possible. This is marketing, and as I said, we're a very big tech-based company. We are probably the biggest direct-to-consumer company in hardcore sports. Shreds is pretty much gone now. We kind of took their business model and blew it up and perfected it. And so I at all times have video content going out. So Claudia is editing video right now. Mike's doing video and graphics at all times. David, who's my vice president, who you guys are going to see a lot of the next few days, he has brought all these people in. So David used to work for a company that I don't know if they want on camera, that he designed all my first websites. He designed Blackstone Labs, Prime Nutrition, Celestial Bodies, and he was so good that I was like, I just want to steal this guy and just have him working for us full time. And he actually came to me and he propositioned me instead. And he shot really low, by the way. And so it was a really good deal. Now he does a lot better now, but he has brought all these different individuals in.
My name's David Winsauer, and I'm the vice president at Blackstone Labs. My job is to make sure that whatever PJ's vision is for the company, which is not always just one vision, there's many projects going on. It's my job to make those a reality, as close to its vision as possible. So I'd borrowed PJ's Corvette for a date, and on the way in, there was a bunch of, I guess, FDA agents, whatever, around the warehouse, and one of them pulled me over, didn't even let me roll the window down, just told me to park, and sat outside the car door with the gun out, not aimed at me, but weapon out. And a couple minutes later, they asked me to roll the window down. They're like, you don't look like PJ. And I'm like, I'm not PJ. They're like, why are you in this car? And I explained it. They're like, all right, get out of the car. And they just had all the staff that was already there at the office, but they had us all sit out front. And they started interviewing people, taking people's phones, showing warrants for people's phones. We're not sure how legitimate those actually were. They were doing some interviews in cars. They interviewed me in a car for a couple hours. I asked to speak with a lawyer. They told me I could speak with a lawyer, but I'd have to go to jail first. And then I can call a lawyer from there. I lost a lot of faith in our government that, not just that day, but that month. The amount of ignorance in the questions that they had asked was alarming. I'd assumed an organized agency would. I thought, I don't want to ask the specific questions, but they'd ask questions that I'm like, maybe they're trying to, trick you. Maybe they're trying to act ignorant on purpose, but they weren't. And in the end, it's just, wow, these guys really don't know what's going on. And by the end of it, I determined it was probably latched on to some other case that's going on. There can't be really anything that we're doing specifically, that we're just sort of caught in the crossfire.
This is the article that got us raided by the FDA. So Men's Journal did this article on us. We did not want them to run it. They basically made it look like Breaking Bad. It really did. It made us look like we were freaking cooking stuff in a room, outsmarting the FDA with crazy products and whatnot. We got lawyers involved. We tried to not get them run it. As soon as this came out, we literally got raided the next day. They came in here guns blazing.
So my name is J.R. Newton, or Richard Newton, but I'm the COO and Director of Sales for Blackstone. My relationship with PJ is I'm his stepfather. We don't really use the step word, but when I moved in, he was 8 years old, so we've been together for a long time. So the first day of the raid, I was actually here, and there was maybe about 20 people here during the raid, and they just knocked on the door. The door was open. They came in with guns and just like yelling at you not to move and don't move here, and it was kind of like a little dramatic, on that side of it, but they basically just, said why they were here, what they thought we were doing wrong, and, even to this day, I don't think we're doing anything wrong. PJ was advised not to come in at that point. It was after the fact. He usually comes in later in the day anyways. So when they came in, I think it was like maybe 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, one of those two, and basically, even after people were leaving, PJ was already speaking to an attorney, like, what do we have to do? How do we handle this? It was stressful. being the only person here, because I actually had to load the truck for them to take our product out. So like I was driving the forklift, showing them, you know, access to computers, and they took all our files of everything and kind of left us to pretty much not make it. You know, it's been almost 2 years and we're still going to court. Well, they were thinking that there was the pro-hormone ban, and they were thinking that we were still selling a product that we weren't selling, because they did not find it in the entire warehouse, because we weren't selling it, so it wasn't anywhere.
And so when they came in, they took almost all of the product that we had in inventory. So they took $750,000 of inventory, and they seized $259,000 out of our main bank account. So my dad was like, look, we can't afford to run this business the way that we are anymore. We have to majorly downsize. And I was like, I know I've been trying to avoid that. I don't know how to say bye to these people. These people are like my brothers and sisters and my family. And he was like, I've planned it out like here with David. He was like, there's probably 10 people that have to go. And I said, what if I remove my salary? And what if I, you know, I've been taking dividends for years. What if I just remove all that and we restructure some of this stuff, and we just get ourselves back? And my dad was like, how are you gonna live? And I was like, I have a lot of money saved. He's like, what about your divorce? And I was like, I would rather do this. I don't wanna say bye to these people. I know we're gonna be back, dude. This company is not made to die.